When we get to the lovable idiot, oh my God, happy wife, happy life, all that stuff, which is part of
Yeah, what
culture
the
now.
hell? Happy wife, whoever said that should just be beaten to death. Happy wife, happy life. Like, if I hear one more person give that advice to somebody, I have to tell you, that is just the most ridiculous. What does that even mean? Happy wife, happy life.
If she's happy, then I'm happy. Because
Is that true?
I think it's used by men who believe that their wife is always unhappy. So if she's not shouting at me and I can just sit here and watch the football,
Yeah.
then all is
Boy,
well.
is that something to aspire to?
That sounds like misery to me. That sounds like you living in silent misery. As long as she's not shouting, as long as she good, by default, I should be good. So forget my problems. But long as she good, I'm happy. It sounds like misery to me. Let's continue.
You know? Man, I can't wait, for someday for my kids to just sit there while the person in the other room is just mildly dissatisfied with them, and they can just sit and watch, the football game. Really? That's what we're aspiring to? That's what you hope for? Like, I gotta tell you, I think our goals are really misaligned. My greatest accomplishment in life is my children. Really? That's your greatest accomplishment in life, is your children. Let me ask you this. What will your children's greatest accomplishment in life be? Having children? Because guess what? This is the ideology of a cancer cell. Growth for the sake of growth, for the sake of growth, for the sake of growth. Reproduction for the sake of reproduction. I don't think that's the highest, noblest goal. I think there should be something in there about quality of life, about making the world or the experience of others better. Like, again, it's not for me to define, but I don't, intelligence is hard to define, but I can spot stupid a mile away. And I have to tell you, a good relationship, it's kind of hard to quantify, but man, I know what sucks. I know a bad relationship when I see one, and we all know them. So what's more uncomfortable? That relationship where, at least she's not yelling at me and she's only mildly dissatisfied and I can just be left alone for an hour and watch the football. Or having to have an uncomfortable conversation, again, while you're still like each other, but there's a little slippage. There's a little something going in the other direction, and I don't want it to go too far. I mean, put it into the physical context.
Okay, I don't want to get too far. Get back to some main points. I don't think happy wife, happy life. I think being on the same page, happy life. That's my ideology. Being on the same accord. And how do you get to that point? I think communication is key. And I know I sound like a tape record that, that sounds cliche to say. Because hindsight is 2020. But communication plays so much. Like, I know so many people who are in relationships that just because they don't communicate effectively, that their relationships are 10 times harder because they don't communicate effectively. I was just telling my friend, it's like, bro, we grown. Why are you pouting like a kid behind something your girlfriend is saying to you versus talking about it? Just talk about it. Talk about what you like, what she don't like, how whatever she said affected you, what you said affected her. Do we both need to apologize? Did we step out of character? What can we work on to do better? Is it something that you like and she don't like? But somebody has to make an agreement. You both have to make an agreement. Somebody has to sacrifice something. Come meet in the middle just to be on the same accord and the same page. Because as a partnership dynamic, you in a step-by-step tandem. Like, you got to be like water. You got to just flow and move together. Like, it got to be some togetherness. And I just don't believe happy wife, happy life. I just don't believe, forget about my problems, forget about what's on my mind. I'm not even going to communicate with you. As long as you're happy and you doing what you're doing and I'm doing what I'm doing, why are we together at that point? If that's the case, I can feel how I feel alone. I don't need you. If we can't talk, if I can't vent to you, you can't vent to me, if I can't empathize with you, and we can talk about our problems effectively like adults, why are we together? Why? there's no point. That's why I believe in the ideology of on the same page, happy life. And once you have that happy life, now you're at peace. Now you've come to grips with the decisions you've made in this relationship dynamic. Once you come to grips with that, now, if you're a person that just okay with that, cool. By all means, do what you do. I just don't believe in that. Like, I have a problem with Shorty. Right then and there, we talking about it. We may argue, we may bump heads, say a couple words we don't mean. I'm gonna let her get her shit off. She gonna let me get my shit off. Insults not gonna be too bad. We may fly throw shit at each other. When it's all said and done, we get back together. All right, let's talk about it. Boom. Then we start giving each other words of encouragement, what we both can do better. The type of people we aspire to be. And it's 10 times worse if you have children and you got this same mindset and you live by that mantra. Like, there's no way. Because you should want your kids to be a reflection of what they see in the household. As a woman, you would want your daughter to aspire to be the type of woman you are. And as a man, I would want my daughter to possibly one day marry a man that's not aspiring to be me, but like me. And if I got a son, I would want him to grow up to aspire to be like me and find a woman that aspire to be just like his mother, vice versa. So all these things go into account to me when I think about them. Let's see what else they talking about.
It is a whole lot easier to maintain a healthy weight than to gain 100 pounds and then try to figure out how to lose it. That's much, much harder. And it's much worse for you. And the chances of you actually accomplishing it are way lower. Whereas maintaining a healthy weight, that's not an unrealistic thing to be able to do.
I sat here with one psychologist who I'm sure you'll know, a very famous individual, called Jordan Peterson. And he said to me, he was shouting when he said it. He said, listen, you're going to have to sit down for 90 minutes a week and you're going to have to listen to her. And she's going to tell you everything that's wrong. And he goes, if you don't listen to her for 90 minutes a week, you'll be listening to her in divorce court. And he was almost shouting when he says it. The analogy he's making, and what he's saying is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is you're going to have to...
I find Jordan Peterson very entertaining. I've been a fan of his work a long time.
Shout out to Jordan Peterson, man.
And I loved, actually, your conversation with him. What I will say is I think that he's sort of hyperbolic in his presentation sometimes, which I enjoy. But I think we totally agree on this. I think that what he's saying more than anything is that you can invest now in candor and in listening to this other person in a non-defensive manner. And so there's a chapter in my book called Hit Send Now, where I talk about exactly that, where I say, you need to be able to have these conversations, but have them in a...
I just said that. Be able to have those conversations, man. You got to. And I also, just to kind of reiterate what he said, what I said, but he said it in a more effective way. Let them get that shit off. Let your significant other get their shit off. If they got something to say, just listen. Don't be defensive. Just listen. You can throw shit at each other later and just get back to the main goal at hand. Because some people just kind of want to get it off. Whatever they feeling, whatever they on their mind, they want to get it off in the most effective way possible. Now, not so much as damaging the relationship or insulting each other to the point to where y'all just lost sight of why y'all are here. Now it's problem after problem, and you just piling on top of the problem that you already had. But you got to be able to keep it confined, and you got to be able to get your shit off in a controlled setting. It's almost like giving your children hardships in a controlled environment. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so that I just believe in that, man. I really do. And I think they kind of finna get off topic a little bit and kind of switch to something else. I just wanted to say that, get that off, because it was interesting to me. Like, I always hear people say that happy wife, happy life, but in my mind, I thought I was crazy because I've always had the mindset, or I live by the mantra like, no, that sounds crazy to me. Happy this person and supposedly supposed to be a happy life, but what if she's happy but my life isn't okay? Like, what if I have some things on my mind that I need to get off, but who gives a, what if she don't care about that? And that leads to divorce or breakups. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Does happy wife, happy life still holds meaning? Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Your boy's out. Till next time.